everyone, and welcome back to Unlock Wisdom. Today we're diving into something that affects so many of us, morning anxiety. Ever wonder why those first few hours can feel so overwhelming? Well, you're not alone, and more importantly, we're going to explore practical habits you can weave into your morning to kick anxiety to the curb before it even starts. So grab your favorite morning beverage, get comfy, and let's unlock some calm. Chapter 1. Understanding morning anxiety. Let's start with understanding morning anxiety. For many, mornings aren't just the start of a new day. They're often the peak of anxiety. Understanding why this happens is the first step towards creating calmer beginnings. You see, that transition from sleep to wakefulness often triggers a flood of stress hormones and racing thoughts about the day ahead. But with the right strategies, you can interrupt this cycle and reclaim your mornings. The morning anxiety epidemic. Morning anxiety isn't just in your head. It's a widespread phenomenon affecting millions of Americans every day. What many experience as just a part of life is actually a significant health concern. Did you know over 40 million Americans suffer from anxiety disorders? Anxiety often peaks in the early hours before the day begins, and a whopping 73% of adults report feeling overwhelmed within the first hour of waking. Sadly, the pandemic increased morning anxiety rates by nearly 25%. Morning anxiety creates a difficult start that can cascade throughout your entire day, affecting productivity, relationships, and overall well-being. Cortisol awakening response. The double-edged sword. Now let's talk about cortisol. It's part of what's called the cortisol awakening response, and it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Cortisol spikes roughly 70% after waking to help us rise and become alert. That's natural. However, this natural surge can amplify existing anxiety symptoms and those racing thoughts. The good news? The right morning habits can help regulate this response for a calmer start. Your body's natural awakening response serves an important purpose, but it can become problematic when combined with psychological stressors and unhealthy morning habits. Stress hormones on overdrive. Those first moments after waking create a perfect storm of biological and psychological factors that can trigger anxiety. But understanding this process gives you the power to intervene. Psychological triggers of morning anxiety. Beyond biology, several psychological factors contribute to morning anxiety. These can include information overload from an immediate flood of to-dos, deadlines, and notifications before your brain is ready to process them. The morning rush also plays a role, with rushing and chaotic starts fueling stress before you've even had your coffee. And then there's anticipatory anxiety, worrying about future events or replaying yesterday's problems. These psychological triggers compound the natural biological stress response, creating a cycle that can be difficult to break without intentional intervention. The power of a morning routine. A thoughtful morning routine isn't just nice to have, it's a powerful intervention for anxiety management. It sets the tone for the entire day, builds resilience against stress and anxiety, and creates a sense of control and predictability. It also reduces decision fatigue when you need mental energy most and establishes healthy patterns that compound over time. Research shows that people with consistent morning routines report 40% lower anxiety levels throughout the day compared to those without structured mornings. Chapter 2. The Science of Calm Mornings. Okay, now let's get into the science of calm mornings. The science is clear. Small, consistent morning habits can rewire your brain's stress response pathways, creating lasting changes in how you experience anxiety. Let's explore the neuroscience behind effective morning rituals. Hydration and breath, the instant grounding duo. Let's talk about the instant grounding duo. Hydration and breath. Drinking water immediately after waking rehydrates you after 6 to 8 hours without fluids, reduces fatigue and brain fog, kickstarts metabolism and digestion, and studies show even mild dehydration increases cortisol. Deep, slow breathing upon waking lowers cortisol and calms the nervous system, activates the parasympathetic rest and digest response, increases oxygen flow to the brain, and takes just 2 to 3 minutes to feel the effects. Movement matters. Light exercise to shift your mood. Movement matters. Light exercise can really shift your mood. It releases endorphins. Those natural mood elevators eases morning stiffness and tension, improves circulation and oxygen delivery, and creates a mind-body connection. Just 5 to 10 minutes is effective. No equipment or special skills are required, and it can be done in pajamas by your bed. Focus on gentle movement, not intensity. Try simple stretching or joint rotations. Gentle yoga poses like child's pose, walking around your home or outside, or shoulder rolls and neck stretches. Mindfulness and meditation, training your brain for calm. Mindfulness meditation is one of the most research-backed approaches to reducing anxiety. Even brief morning sessions create measurable changes. 5 to 10 minutes focusing on breath or guided meditation reduces racing thoughts and centers your mind, decreases activity in the amygdala, the fear center, strengthens the prefrontal cortex or rational thinking, and creates lasting effects that extend beyond the practice. As Dr. Richard Davidson, a neuroscientist, says, just as we shower to clean our bodies, meditation cleanses the mind. A morning meditation practice removes the residue of yesterday's stress and prepares us for today's challenges. Gratitude practice, rewiring your brain for positivity. Gratitude practice rewires your brain for positivity. Before leaving bed, name 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. This simple practice takes less than a minute but creates a powerful perspective shift. Gratitude activates the brain's reward pathways and production of dopamine and serotonin, the same neurotransmitters targeted by anti-anxiety medications. Research shows consistent gratitude practice is linked to lower stress hormones, improved mood, better sleep quality, and increased resilience, even on difficult days. Finding small things to appreciate creates a foundation of stability that anxiety struggles to penetrate. Balanced breakfast, fueling body and mind. What you eat in the morning directly impacts your anxiety levels and mood stability throughout the day. Protein, fiber, and healthy fats stabilize blood sugar. Avoid sugary cereals that cause energy crashes and irritability. Complex carbohydrates support serotonin production, and omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation linked to anxiety. The brain uses 20% of your total energy, so feeding it properly is essential for emotional regulation. Think about having whole grain toast with avocado and eggs, a side of berries, and chamomile or green tea. Limiting screen time, protecting your peace. Limiting screen time protects your peace. Checking devices immediately exposes you to stressors, triggers comparison, and activates work mode before you're mentally prepared. Avoid emails, social media, and news for the first hour after waking to allow your natural cortisol levels to stabilize. This leads to reduced cortisol spikes, a more present mindset, and the ability to set intentions rather than react to others' demands. Consistent wake time, regulating your internal clock. A consistent wake time regulates your internal clock. Waking at the same time daily, even weekends, helps your body produce cortisol at appropriate levels and times, preventing excess stress hormones. A regular wake time strengthens your circadian rhythm, leading to better sleep quality at night, creating a positive cycle that reduces anxiety. Irregular sleep patterns disrupt your body's energy regulation, leading to fatigue and burnout that make you more vulnerable to anxiety. Research shows that maintaining a consistent wake time is more important for mental health than getting a specific number of hours of sleep. It's the regularity that matters most. Consistency is the anchor of calm. Remember, consistency is the anchor of calm. the most effective anxiety-reducing habits are those practiced consistently, even if imperfectly. Small daily actions create powerful neurological pathways that make calm your default state. Chapter 3. Habit number 1. Set a positive tone with gratitude. Now, let's jump into the habits. First, set a positive tone with gratitude. The moment between sleep and wakefulness is a powerful opportunity to set the emotional trajectory of your entire day. Starting with gratitude creates a buffer against anxiety before your feet even touch the floor. Why gratitude works? Gratitude isn't just a nice sentiment. It's a powerful neurological intervention that has been extensively studied. It shifts focus from stress to appreciation, activates brain areas linked to happiness and stress reduction, increases production of dopamine and serotonin, creates new neural pathways that strengthen with practice, and interrupts rumination and negative thought patterns. Brain imaging studies show that gratitude practice activates the medial prefrontal cortex, an area associated with learning and decision-making, helping you start your day with improved cognitive function. Even when your circumstances haven't changed, gratitude physically changes how your brain processes your experience. How to practice gratitude each morning. Before rising, get out of bed, think of 3 simple things you appreciate. Start with immediate sensations: a warm blanket, a comfortable pillow, a quiet morning. Or keep a gratitude journal by your bed. Writing amplifies the effect by engaging more brain regions and creating a physical record to review. Engage your senses by noticing sensory experiences: morning coffee aroma, sunlight patterns, the sound of birds. Sensory gratitude grounds you in the present moment. The key is specificity. Rather than "I'm grateful for my family," try "I appreciate how my partner made coffee yesterday when I was tired." Specific gratitude creates stronger neural connections. Real-life impact. Here's some real-life impact. One marketing executive, Sarah, said, "I was skeptical that something so simple could help my anxiety. But after practicing morning gratitude for just 2 weeks, I noticed I wasn't immediately reaching for my phone to check emails. Instead, I was taking a moment to appreciate the day. My cortisol levels dropped measurably on my health tracker, and my coworkers commented that I seemed calmer in morning meetings." Studies show gratitude lowers cortisol by up to 23% and improves emotional resilience throughout the day. Chapter 4. Habit number 2. Hydrate and breathe to feel grounded. Our second habit is to hydrate and breathe to feel grounded. These 2 simple physical interventions, hydrating and conscious breathing, create an immediate physiological shift away from anxiety and toward calm, centered presence. The science behind hydration and breath. You lose nearly a pound of water during sleep through respiration and perspiration. Even mild dehydration affects concentration, mood, and energy levels. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, counteracting the sympathetic fight or flight response that fuels anxiety. Long exhales stimulate the vagus nerve, which runs from your brain to your abdomen and controls relaxation responses, creating a physical calming effect. Together, hydration and breathwork create a powerful physiological intervention that takes less than 2 minutes, but can reset your entire nervous system. Simple morning ritual. Here's a simple morning ritual. First, hydrate. Drink a full glass of water, 12 to 16 ounces. Immediately after waking. Room temperature water is gentler on your system than cold. Optionally, add a squeeze of lemon for digestive benefits and vitamin C. Wait 15 to 30 minutes before coffee or tea for maximum hydration. Next, breathe. Take 5 slow, deep breaths, focusing on lengthening exhales. Inhale for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 6. Place your hand on your belly to ensure diaphragmatic breathing. This can be done sitting on the edge of the bed or standing by a window. Expert insight. Here's an expert insight from Elizabeth Shirtcliffe, a neuroscience professor at Iowa State University. Breathing exercises help regulate the stress hormone cortisol. When we extend our exhale, we're literally breathing out stress and signaling to our brain that we're safe. Combined with proper hydration, this creates an optimal physiological state to begin your day. Clinical studies show that participants who practiced deep breathing for just 5 minutes each morning reported a 35% reduction in perceived anxiety levels throughout the day. Chapter 5. Habit number 3. Add light movement to your morning. Movement is medicine for the anxious mind. Even minimal physical activity in the morning creates powerful shifts in your biochemistry and mental state that set you up for a calmer, more centered day. Movement's role in anxiety reduction. Morning movement creates multiple anti-anxiety benefits. It boosts circulation and releases endorphins, connects body and mind, clearing morning fog, reduces muscle tension that contributes to anxious feelings, increases GABA, a neurotransmitter that promotes calm, and creates a sense of accomplishment early in the day. Studies show that even 5 minutes of gentle movement can reduce anxiety symptoms by up to 20% for several hours afterward. Movement doesn't have to be intense to be effective. In fact, gentle, mindful movement often works better for anxiety than vigorous exercise, which can sometimes trigger stress responses. Easy morning movements. For bedside stretches, try gentle spinal twists, knee to chest holds, or ankle and wrist circles. For standing movements, try gentle side bends, shoulder rolls, and neck stretches, or standing forward folds. You could also try mini routines like a 5-minute gentle yoga flow, brief Tai Chi movements, or a quick walk outside or around your home. Remember, 5 to 10 minutes is all you need. No need for intense workouts. Awareness and gentle movement are key. Focus on how it feels rather than performance or calorie burning. Move mindfully. Feel better. The goal isn't exercise, it's connection. Moving your body mindfully in the morning creates a foundation of embodied presence that anxiety struggles to penetrate. Chapter 6. Habit number 4. Practice mindfulness or meditation. Habit number 4 is to practice mindfulness or meditation. Perhaps the most research-backed anxiety intervention. Morning mindfulness practice creates profound shifts in your brain's architecture and functioning. Just a few minutes can completely change how you experience the day ahead. Mindfulness benefits. Mindfulness anchors attention to the present moment instead of future worries or past regrets. It creates emotional resilience that extends beyond the practice into daily challenges, reduces rumination and racing thoughts by creating space between you and your thoughts, and strengthens the prefrontal cortex while reducing amygdala reactivity after just 8 weeks. A Harvard study found that just 8 weeks of daily mindfulness practice created measurable changes in brain regions associated with memory, self-awareness, and emotional regulation. Getting started. For beginner-friendly options, use apps like Calm, Headspace, or Insight Timer for guided sessions. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes of simple breath focus. Try body scan meditation to connect with physical sensations. Morning journaling can be a form of mindfulness for those who prefer writing. Remember, meditation isn't about stopping thoughts. It's about noticing them without attachment. Expect your mind to wander and gently bring focus back to your breath. For a simple breath meditation, sit comfortably with your back supported. Close your eyes or maintain a soft gaze. Focus attention on your natural breath, and when your mind wanders, gently return your focus. Start with 5 minutes and gradually increase. Chapter 7. Habit number 5. Eat a balanced, nutritious breakfast. What you eat first thing in the morning has a direct impact on your anxiety levels, mood stability, and cognitive function. A strategic breakfast can create biochemical support for calm that lasts for hours. Why breakfast matters for anxiety. Breakfast stabilizes blood sugar to prevent mood swings, irritability, and false anxiety triggers from hypoglycemia. It provides essential nutrients for producing serotonin, dopamine, and GABA neurotransmitters that regulate mood and anxiety. It supplies steady glucose for optimal brain function, reducing mental fatigue that can trigger or worsen anxiety. Skipping breakfast or eating a sugary processed meal creates biochemical conditions that mimic anxiety symptoms and make you more vulnerable to stress throughout the day. Smart breakfast choices. Build your breakfast with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. For example, eggs with avocado toast or Greek yogurt with berries and nuts. Avoid sugary cereals or processed carbs that spike then crash your blood sugar. Look for anxiety-calming nutrients like omega-3s from walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds, magnesium from pumpkin seeds, almonds, and dark chocolate, and B vitamins from whole grains, eggs, and nutritional yeast. For quick, balanced options, try oatmeal with nut butter, berries, and hemp seeds, a smoothie with protein, greens, and healthy fats, whole grain toast with avocado and eggs, Greek yogurt parfait with granola and fruit, or leftovers from a balanced dinner. Chapter 8. Habit number 6. Set realistic goals and plan your day. Anxiety thrives in ambiguity and overwhelm. Taking a few minutes to clarify priorities and create structure for your day establishes a sense of control that significantly reduces morning anxiety. Planning to reduce overwhelm. Strategic planning creates clarity and confidence. First, identifying your MITs, your most important tasks. Break tasks into manageable chunks and prioritize 3 key goals to focus your energy. Next, time block your day by assigning specific time slots for important tasks, including breaks and transitions. Finally, create realistic expectations by being honest about what you can accomplish. Overcommitment fuels anxiety. Research shows that the act of writing down goals and plans reduces anxiety by creating external storage for information that would otherwise occupy mental bandwidth. How planning helps anxiety. Planning gives you a sense of control, creating a feeling of agency rather than helplessness when facing a busy day. It reduces cognitive load, preventing decision fatigue and mental exhaustion that can trigger anxiety, and gives you mental closure, allowing your brain to relax knowing nothing important will be forgotten. Just 5 to 10 minutes of intentional planning creates a framework that helps manage anxiety throughout the entire day, one of the highest returns on investment for your morning routine. Chapter 9. Habit number 7. Limit screen time in the morning. Perhaps the single most impactful morning habit shift for anxiety reduction is creating boundaries around technology use during the first hour of your day. This simple change can dramatically reduce stress hormones and set a more intentional tone. The impact of early screen use. Morning screen time creates a perfect storm of anxiety triggers. Social media and news spike cortisol and anxiety. Work emails activate stress responses before you're ready. Information overload taxes cognitive resources. Comparison and FOMO trigger insecurity, and it distracts you from mindful morning habits. Studies show checking your phone within 10 minutes of waking increases anxiety levels by up to 75%, compared to waiting at least 30 minutes. As Dr. Amishi Jha, a neuroscientist, says, the way you start your morning determines how your brain functions for the rest of the day. Starting with screens is like injecting stress directly into your system before you've had a chance to set your own intentions. How to protect your peace. Create a buffer zone by delaying phone and email use for at least 30 to 60 minutes after waking, to allow your natural morning rhythms to stabilize. Replace screen time with meaningful activities like journaling, reading, meditation, or time in nature. Activities that nourish rather than deplete. Set technical boundaries by using Do Not Disturb settings, keeping devices out of the bedroom, or using apps that limit morning access to stress-inducing content. This habit is often the most challenging to implement and the most transformative. Start with just 15 minutes of screen-free time and gradually extend to an hour for maximum benefit. Your calm morning blueprint. So here's your calm morning blueprint. Upon waking, practice gratitude, hydrate with water, and take 5 deep breaths. In the first 15 minutes, have light movement or stretching, and continue to avoid screens. In the next 15 minutes, do a brief meditation or mindfulness practice, and begin preparing a balanced breakfast. In the final 15 minutes, set intentions and plan your day while enjoying breakfast. Then, transition to regular activities. Consistency plus intention equals reduced anxiety. The key is not perfection, but persistence. Start small, build habits gradually, and reclaim your mornings from anxiety one day at a time. Unlock Wisdom's Challenge. Here's Unlock Wisdom's Challenge. Try these 7 habits tomorrow morning and notice the difference. Your anxiety doesn't have to control your day. Even implementing just 1 or 2 of these practices can create significant shifts in your morning anxiety levels. Start where you are, with what feels manageable, and build from there. Remember, small, consistent actions create powerful neurological changes over time. Your brain's stress response is adaptable. You can literally rewire it to intentional morning habits. Resources and support. If you want to learn more, there are plenty of resources available. Check out meditation apps like Calm, Headspace, Insight Timer, or Waking Up. Journals like the 5-Minute Journal, Morning Pages, or Gratitude Journal. Or books like Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker or The Anxiety Toolkit by Alice Boyes. For movement, try Yoga with Adriene on YouTube or Morning Stretch on Peloton. There's also additional support available. Consider professional help through therapy or counseling for persistent anxiety. Join Unlock Wisdom's online forum for accountability and support. Look for virtual and in-person anxiety management workshops. And sign up for newsletters with weekly tips and research updates on anxiety management. Visit unlockwisdom.com/morningcalm for downloadable resources, morning routine templates, and our supportive community. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Begin your calm morning journey tomorrow. Please connect with Unlock Wisdom for daily mindfulness tips and anxiety management strategies. Wishing you a day filled with calm and wisdom.